On the last episode, Jake and myself knocked down a couple of does and we were able to fill the freezer. After the venison was acquired, we switched gears and started to focus our attention on bucks. Between the summer scouting and recent trail camera intel, we had a good idea of where to start. To begin the process, we focused our attention on making observation sits in several different bedding areas. We need to get a replacement core for that deal.
How long you had that for?
That's Greg's.
It just got shot up.
Yeah, I thought, well, these guys will use it a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, they pounded the core out of
That's
it.
going to be our broadhead target, actually.
Yeah, broadhead after broadhead. You know what I don't know if I have? My binos. Oh, no, I do. I know where they're at. They're by pack. I'm just going to park it right here.
Welcome to the jungle.
Jump right into that creek. Yeah, it's probably one of the thicker places we walked this summer. Me and Nick. All tangled up. There it goes. Finally. Greg and I are about to walk in to this spot that Nick and I scouted earlier this summer. We got to walk through this creek bed back in here to a big open bottom. It's pretty similar to what Warb and I were hunting last night when we shot that doe. And there's a lot of oak ridges close to this bottom too, so we're just gonna slide in there and get up in the tree as high as we can and see if we can get eyes on something in here tonight. But we gotta bear down and get through a bunch of thick crap before we can get to where we want to go, so better get moving. This one kind of looks like a pig track.
Is there where you saw the pig?
I think this is the same day we saw that pig too. Hopefully we don't run into them again. They might get an arrow this time. Greg and I just got set up in this tree. We are up here pretty high where we can see out over this big bottom ground. Nick and I came in here and scouted this piece this summer. We walked the perimeter of the bottom and found a bunch of beds all scattered throughout it. That's part of the reason why we're sitting up here where we can see a lot of ground, is just hoping to get eyes on a buck. Rather than dive in somewhere and try and kill something, we're just kind of sitting back where we can get eyes on something and maybe have a game plan once the weather gets a little bit better. Gotta hope we can get eyes on something tonight.
I think we will.
Do ya? A buck?
Just all we gotta do is stand up.
That's true. There was a lot of beds in that, and they probably are bedding in that some, but you would think that this stuff up here is a little bit better. Oh, I see a buck, Greg. See him?
Yep.
Smelling us.
Yeah.
Is gonna be doing here. Probably ain't gonna go very far tonight. I mean, he might. I think there's a good chance he comes over here, but I also don't know if he already caught a whiff of us or what. kept thinking when he kept getting all frolicky out there, and then they kept looking back that way and that way. So it's like if they spooked, they probably had to come this way. And he did there for about 30 yards. Then he cut back to the west. Oh man.
Second best outcome right there.
Yeah.
Killing him would have been the best. But
Yeah.
again, I don't know if he would have got close enough without smelling it. So
I don't
know wind is going out there.
I don't think he would have. Because our wind, like right now, I feel like I can feel it going that way.
Yeah. I keep feeling it in my back.
Yeah. That's the problem with when it gets so calm at night. It just kind of goes wherever. I'd imagine they're just going to keep going up into them ridges until... Oh,
That'll get you fired up.
that's exactly what we were hoping for right there. Bedded right over here. Probably only 100 yards.
The point of those cedars.
Yeah.
A little warmer out than I expected, so
I know.
take this sweatshirt off.
We got this north wind though, that's good.
Yeah.
First one of those we've had in a while.
Should be good for scouting too. We can get around pretty quiet. Could be fun. Be my first hunt in Iowa.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Alright, let's roll.
What's up guys? Hayden and I are heading in to a new spot this afternoon. We came over here with Warb and Nick and we're just camping on this piece of public because it's a good hour or so from our house. I spent all of yesterday going after that buck that Greg and I saw and I didn't have any luck. I went in there the next morning and didn't see anything but a couple does. And then last night Nick and I went in and got set up on a real fresh scrape over there and we didn't have any luck with that either. We also ran into a few guys over there, so we decided to bail on that piece and come over to this new area. This area is one that we've been scouting a bunch this summer and leading up to season here, so we got a pretty good idea of where a lot of deer are at and a lot of bucks based on trail cameras and just walking around. But this ridge that Hayden and I are on today, we haven't been back up into yet. Right away when we left the truck, we saw several rubs and 2 or 3 scrapes back in there. A lot of buck sign right off the parking lot. This ridge goes like a mile deep into public, and then on the tip of the ridge it looks like there's a big cut back there that the deer are probably bedding in. So we got high winds today, and then the next couple days are going to be prime weather. So we're diving into this spot, gonna work our way back in here throughout the afternoon. About noon right now, so we got plenty of time to scout around on this ridge. We got all the saddle stuff on our back, so keep picking our way back in here and try and find a good setup for this afternoon. But it's already looking good, just based off the buck sign that we've seen. This is Hayden's first time hunting in Iowa, so hopefully we can have an Iowa experience this weekend.
Yeah, don't let me down, Ted.
I don't know, after your hunts in Missouri, it's gonna be hard to top that.
Well, it hasn't been the same fortune this year. It's been a little struggle down there, but hey, I'm excited to be here. It's gonna be fun.
Let's get it done.
Got eaten by a mouse.
Mouse got into it at the cabin.
Look at him go. That man is focused right now.
He is in his element.
I've seen that look in his eyes before. Like when old Brenda and Susan rolled up on them ponies earlier.
The biggest failure of the night was not asking them if they had a beverage to share.
They surely did.
Because Brenda had one.
We were like, y'all seen any deer? And they're like, no, y'all's the first bucks we see.
Oh,
And
they
I
like
know
it.
that saddlebag she had was heavy with something cold. I won't fumble like that again.
You hungry for some of that action?
I am very. I'm famished.
There ain't nothing bad about that.
It'll make a pile.
It's midday here. Hayden and I climbed down from the tree this morning, went back to camp, met up with Warb and Nick to discuss what they saw this morning. They got a good beat on some bucks and are gonna be in a good spot tonight. So Hayden and I are kind of prospecting around on some of these ridges. We got an idea of where a lot of good sign is on a few different ridges. During the middle part of the day, we're just kind of jutting into a couple of these spots just to check them out, trying to get an idea of where we want to set up for tonight. We just got to try and find the right spot. Steeper than I expected. those ridges, and we've had quite a few big bucks on it over the last week and a half. Some in daylight and some in the middle of the night. Hayden and I have been working our way in here this afternoon trying to find the right setup. We almost set up just on top of this creek, but we just didn't find the buck sign that we're hoping to find. So dropping down into this creek now, we're gonna start working our way up it, see if we can find a good crossing, and then probably set up somewhere real close to that. Orb and Nick are on the other side of this ditch, a little ways from us, trying to catch deer coming out towards an alfalfa field. We're both kind of in the same general area, but hunting two different sets of deer, we think. We've got a little bit more snooping around to do. Hopefully it'll lead us to a good spot. Straight across that ditch. I don't know. The buck. Big. Hayden and I dove into that spot. Kept contemplating whether we should set up at. We got to a spot that we thought looked really good and almost set up just on the edge of that cut. And we both decided to, instead of setting up there, we should dive down the creek a little bit and look for a little bit better sign. We did that. We popped up there a little bit further into the cut towards the base of all those ridges. As I was about halfway up the tree, Hayden saw a deer on the other ridge. And it was one of the bucks that we have on camera in there. It bedded right in there somewhere close. Not sure if he caught a little bit of our wind or what. He stood up and walked basically straight up the ridge away from us. He stood there for a long time, just looking around. And he didn't really act all that spooked, but I don't even know if he did spook for sure, or if he just got up and went up the other side of the ridge. But our wind was just too finicky down in there to stick around, so tore everything down. And we're looping around on the top side of the ridge trying to get in front of where he was heading. It's pretty much dead calm tonight, so there's really not a great chance of us sneaking up on him or anything. But we're gonna get up here, at least to have our wind more consistent and to possibly cut him off. Wasn't what we're trying to do down in there. We've been saving that spot for all 7 days of season. We've just been waiting for a good time to kind of creep in there. That's the thing where those big bucks are hanging out at a lot of times. When you get down in there, the wind is swirling and just makes stuff really tricky. So that's what happened. Keep looping around, see if we can get back on him or another one.
What's I call these spots on camera? You know what I mean?
Left cheek or right cheek?
Yeah, you know what spots I'm talking about?
Which one's which?
That's this bottom or that bottom?
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
I see.
Okay, that's this bottom.
Ooh.
2 out of 3. This bottom.
Prove
Alright,
it.
so it's either this bottom won once, okay.
Oh, we're doing this again.
now it's that bottom or cut. Okay, that's the cut.
We're doing this tournament style.
Yeah. That's that bottom. The cut. Alright, so now it's between cut and this bottom. Alright, tails is this bottom. This bottom. Cut. This bottom.
This bottom. It's been decided. Fate has spoken. How confident do you feel about that, though?
I feel pretty good about that. If I didn't feel good about it, I'd have made up something.
right there on that trail. Maybe old boy shot one. Wonder how long that thing's been sitting there.
Probably quite some time.
Super light, made in the USA. XX75 camo hunter. Easton arrows. 4 rubs right here.
Wind's gonna be the most consistent up here too.
That's kind of good. I think we could kill one right here. I think with that west wind, a buck could be bedded like right here even. Climbed up this tree. It's about 4:30 right now. So we got a lot of time till dark, but we wanted to get in here plenty early and take our time because yesterday when we were setting up, that buck got up out of this cut and he might have heard us or seen us while we were setting up. So we decided to get in here plenty early and take our time getting set up. We've got like 2 or 3 trails coming out of the cut right through here, about 20 yards. And it seems like they all kind of come together right here in front of us and go out onto this open ridge where there's a ton of acorns on top. So we're hoping to catch something coming out of these ridges, working through here up towards these acorns. Warb and Nick actually hunted about 300 yards to the south of where we're at right now. And they saw a bunch of does, but it sounds like they got busted by the does out there before the bucks could ever make it to where they were at. Warb and Nick went scouting pretty much all day today, it sounds like. Found some good spots. Not sure where exactly they ended up at, but I think between the 3 groups, we should all be in pretty good spots. This cold front is still lingering around this afternoon. Wind's up pretty good. And then tomorrow it's gonna start getting warm again, but tonight should be good movement. We already got a little buck on one of our cell cameras about 15 minutes ago in a completely different spot, so looked like he was hitting a rub. They're up and moving this afternoon. Just need one to move right through here. Just had the first deer of the night come in. A little forky type buck. Hayden could hear him walking out of the thick ridges down below us. He came up and fed on acorns for probably 20 minutes right here by us. Eventually worked over here